What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Bears show. It's been a while. I know everybody in the chat is thinking this is going to be keeping it 100. It is not. It is not. It is me tonight. Phil, I'm sure, is just getting back to Connecticut and does not want to be anywhere near a camera. And if you did not catch CHGO After Dark, Shayne, Greg, and I believe it's the beat writer for CHGO, Patrick. Don't know his last name, but they had a good show over there. So, hopefully you guys could tune into that after you hear what I have to say about that very, very disappointing start to the Chicago Bears 2025 season. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. I was there. It was, maybe I should stop going to games. I don't know. I was there in Washington for the Fail Mary in my eyes, but this one stung a little more just because there was a lot to be happy about in that first half. And once again, the Bears cannot hold on to a lead. They can't establish total dominance. They can't play four-quarter football. And yeah, Ben Johnson is here. Yeah, it's a new coaching staff, a new regime. I get that. This is unacceptable. That was an unacceptable loss. Unacceptable loss. When you have a rookie quarterback and I know he's not a rookie quarterback, but you have a guy in his first start in the NFL on the ropes, you got to put him away. And I thought they did almost that when he threw the pick six. But then it just felt like that Chicago Bears front four could not figure out how to stop the Minnesota run game. And that's pretty much how we ended up wrapping up for the Chicago Bears defense. Like they couldn't do anything to stop it. There was no answer for Jones and what was the other young man's name? Jones and Jordan Mason. He kept calling his name all damn night. It felt like, but only at the most critical points. Like, the Bears defense was able to do great things. I believe they stopped. I think, let's see. First quarter, Minnesota punt. They got a field goal, another punt, field goal, and then that's the end of the half. So 6 points, they gave up. They were dominating that first half, and I just don't know what changed scheme-wise, or they just had no answer for the adjustments that the defense of Minnesota and the offense of Minnesota had for them, but it just got ugly in a hurry in that fourth quarter, and it's disappointing. Plenty of blame to go around. I will get to Caleb Williams. I want to stick to the defense, though, because that I felt like with all the mistakes, I think that 21 unanswered points, and there were issues with penalties. There was a phantom pass interference call. I think Darnell Wright got screwed on a slap down, but that's just me. I think that illegal hands to the face. Yeah, but nobody could see the hold on the defender, on Odengbo, Odengbo, hey, that guy had a hell of a game in my eyes. Like, he was playing really well. It was a surprise to me because I was thinking he wasn't going to. I was afraid because he was, another project in my eyes. But maybe this guy can be a real solid player for us, because he was flying around there, and I truly didn't see anybody, not giving total effort. Maybe I missed that because being in the stands, I'm looking at so many things. You have to go back and look at the tape once it's, I think it's out right now, but once I download it. But it it frustrates you that you had all this momentum, and then it just felt like you plateaued. It felt like you tried to I wouldn't say get cute, but you just tried to manipulate the game. You just tried to hold them at 6. It didn't feel like you were content, but it felt like you thought you were going to be able to dominate in the running game, which you did not. You did not at all. And anybody that thinks that and looks at the stats and says, "Hey, oh, look at the Bears had 100 and something yards." Yeah, half of that was Caleb scrambling. Half of that was a breakdown passing play that Caleb had to run outside, and he said, "Hey, look at all this land. Let me go ahead and run." DeAndre Swift, 17 carries, 53 yards, 3.12 average. DJ Moore, 3 carries, 8 yards, 2.67. Monangai had 1 reception, 11 yards, and yeah. DJ Moore, second option at running back. That's not good. But even worse is you had no push. And I know Minnesota's defense is good against the run, but still, it just goes back to the offseason, what we talked about here on TTNL. Not that we hate, Colston Loveland or Luther Burden, and it just seems like now everybody's mentioning this when we were getting crucified for even having the thought that those picks were mistakes. You got to trust Ben Johnson. You got to trust these guys. And I get it. And I am trusting Ben Johnson to get this shit right because and you'll see in a minute because I'm going to play the interview that he had today right after I play Caleb's post-game interview here in a minute. But it's as frustrating a thing to know that you have to sit here and go through these growing pains when all you want is this team to win, right? All you want them to do is win. Win. And everybody is fucking at arms, and I knew it was going to be this way. That's why I was praying for a win. And like I said, that first half, I'm like, please, God, just keep going. Keep the fucking pedal to the metal. Do not let up on this Minnesota team. And that's exactly what happened. Did they get bailed out by some shit calls? Absolutely. But they didn't handle their business when the time came, right? When they had to, it did not get fucking handled. They got ran over in the run game, late in the game. When they needed big stops, they got ran over 9 yards. A pop, 9 yards on first down, 6 yards on second down. You know what I'm saying? Now you're at third and short, or you're working on back-to-back first downs, or you at, second down to first down pretty much. It's like, what the fuck? Stop these guys. And all they're doing was power. It just seemed like they were just powering your ass down the fucking field, and you had no answer. And, JJ, to his credit, rose to the occasion. I think you have to credit Minnesota for understanding that they needed to limit him. Because that first half for JJ was not good, right? And then he throws a pick 6, like I had mentioned. That fourth quarter, it just seemed like the Bears defense was gassed. It seemed like guys were, I guess reaching. It just seemed like the Bears defense was trying to search for answers that they didn't have at that moment. And I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Well, part of me does, but I right now I don't want to go back into the draft. I want to go ahead and go into this Caleb interview. Caleb, a tale of two halves. Like I said, this whole fucking story, this whole game is a tale of two halves. The good, the bad, and it irks me that we can't find that consistency, right? It irks me. And it's not like I'm giving up on Caleb Williams. It really isn't. But there can't be a opportunity to put a team away that's missed, especially a team that has that's as quality as Minnesota. Yeah, they're working with a first-year quarterback, but that team won 14 games. That team still has quality players, and they've added. So it's not like it's not like they're pushovers, right? And they're healthy. It's the beginning of the year, so for me, you let these guys off the hook. You had them right where you wanted them. You let them off the hook, and it starts with Caleb, right? Put the ball where it needs to be. That's all I'm going to say. Put the fucking ball where it needs to be. He was making spectacular throws. He was consistent. 10 to 10. People want to talk about, oh, well, he's throwing too short. Look at, man, if he was taking a risk and he threw fucking 2 interceptions going downfield, people would have still put him to task for it, right? They would still do that. So for me, I thought the game plan was always play action. If it's not there deep, don't give him anything. Try to get it out of your hands quick, which means get to your outlets, get through your progressions, get to your outlets. And it just didn't seem like it was Caleb not trying to be aggressive. It just seemed like it wasn't a part of the game plan. It seemed like the beginning of the game, they had an idea and they were working with it. It was working. And then suddenly, Brian Flores, to his credit, went ahead and started getting after Caleb. And that's when the inconsistency showed up, right? That's when the bouncy came, right? That's when he started getting those bunny feet and wanted to go. And I understand the idea of, hey, Caleb, I want to make a play here. But there's just times where he needs to understand, get out of the pocket. If I don't fucking see a guy open in front of me, throw the ball away or try, get it downfield to put it in the only place where your guy can have it. On the sidelines, right? And as you're rolling out. And I don't see that. Like, it's too many times you want to be a fucking superhero. Stop. Get out of the post. To me, you being a superhero is escaping those motherfuckers, getting rid of the ball, and us keeping the down and distance. Or at least the distance. Excuse me, not the down, but the distance. You didn't take a fucking sack. Field position matters too. So, like, him not being able to understand that is frustrating to me. There's still a lot of good. There's still a lot of good. Is he perfect? Hell no. No, he is not polished right now. No. But you can see the talent. There's throws that he made that were just positively spectacular. That's all you can say. Was like fucking amazing. Like, there's people screaming in the stands like, holy shit. Did you see that? And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, the guy has talent. It's about him and Ben Johnson getting on the same page with this timing, getting on the same page with these concepts on what plays work and what plays don't. Like, maybe we should have some more rollouts. Maybe Ben could adjust to Caleb a little bit. Who knows? This isn't going to be fucking Detroit, though. That part I understand. And Ben said as much in his interview today. He's still learning the player. So I would say, instead of going right to cut him, he's a bust, allow Ben to work with Caleb. Let's see where this team goes from here. Because you're going to have to find things that work for him. And once you do that, if you find those things and you go out of your way and it still doesn't work, then we can have this conversation. But you got to exhaust all your options with Caleb Williams because the talent is there. It's part of why Ben is here. He, out of the horse's mouth, it's part of why he's here. So for me, I feel like, and I think true program, maybe there needs to be a switch. Maybe there needs to be a switch. I think there's some truth to this. It's not that he's I wouldn't just say he's some like pushover, because you see he's willing to give up his body. He's willing to go ahead and take some shots. It's just, I need him to take it to another level mentally. And I think that is where you're going to have, Ben Johnson is going to have to navigate. That part is the most critical part, is how do you get him to hit the switch, right? And for me, like I said, I don't think he's some type of soft player. I just think that there's something that just hasn't, boom, connected yet. And that's coming from me. That's just being real. Is he going to get, should he be benched? No. Like, there's a lot of overreaction that I don't like. And it's just because this guy is so polarizing. He's the number one pick. People hate him, the fucking nails, the whatever the fuck you want to hate him for. You can't deny that there's talent. And it's going to have to be groomed. One fucking game where not only he had his faults, but the team itself collapsed. You can't continue to just put everything on him. That's what irks me about certain people. We could be critical about Caleb, but you cannot just put everything on him. Like he was out there giving up yard after yard on the fucking ground on defense. He doesn't play defensive line. Plenty of blame to go around. Let's get to the Caleb Williams interview post-game yesterday. Let me go ahead and bring it up first. There it is.
Caleb, it seems that towards the end of the game, a few of your passes started to get away from you. Can you pinpoint the reason for that happening?
I think that just happens sometimes in games and in moments. Just got to reel it back in and go out there and execute. I think we did that on that last drive, or second to last drive that we had. Being able to reel it back in and go out there and complete the ball.
What got off track in the passing game after that hot start?
I think just I think first it starts with getting in and out of huddle. It starts with being able to just complete some easy passes, check downs, and things like that. Keep the drives going, and I think we did that in the beginning. And that's the hot start that you're talking about. And I think a few balls got batted. We had penalties and things like that, so it slowed the drives down. Slowed the momentum down that we had, and we got to get better at those.
Caleb, this series that ends with it being 30-30, and then Kyrie misses the field goal.
Yep.
What is the lesson from there in terms of the momentum change?
Yeah, the lesson there is get the ball past the line of scrimmage. I was trying to throw the ball away, and it just didn't get past the line of scrimmage because I knew we were in field goal range. I think I've been able to have a couple of those moments, and I've come up here and spoke to you all about learning from those moments, and I knew we were in field goal range, like I said, and just being able to get the ball past the line of scrimmage in that position, trying to throw it away, and try and keep us in field goal range.
And if anybody really saw that play, Caleb scrambles. I mean, there was some scrambles that he got out of where I was like, geez, dude, like I don't Houdini type shit. And this particular one, as soon as we thought he was going to escape to his left, he trips over one of the lineman's feet, right? And that's where he's falling like he can't, like a baby deer, falling out, just can't fucking do anything, and he flails and throws the ball, but it doesn't get past the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding. It's a tough one to take, right? If he escapes, it's a different story because he had a lot of room to run. If he doesn't trip over that lineman's fat fucking foot, hey, maybe he has a first down. Maybe he finds an open receiver. Who knows? Either way, it didn't work out for the Bears. Let's keep going.
Same possession, you had Cole across the middle. What did you see on that one? Kind of thought they were missed him by a wide margin across the middle.
Threw it a little bit in front of him. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, we worked this play all week and was hitting it, and we kind of did it twice today and missed both in the same spot. Missed it right in front of him, and it's frustrating because did everything perfect all the way up to that, and then just missed. And that happens, and so just being able to come back from that and keep punching, keep fighting. But those are big moments in the game. Both times, I believe we were either high red zone or in the red zone, and just missed right in front of them. Just a bit outside, so or inside. So frustrating. Something that you practice, something that you hit throughout the whole week, and move the backer and whip it in there and just miss.
The other one's the DJ pass on 4th and 3. Is that?
It was DJ. Same thing. Just missed right in front of him, wide open, and moved the backer. Came back and missed the same spot, same route. And like I said, it's frustrating. Something that you practice on throughout the whole week, and something that I'll be better with. Something that you have to hit in those moments.
Somebody who takes such great pride in his accuracy. Do you know why that didn't go the way it was supposed to go? Or?
I think I got to go back and watch it honestly, but I think I sat too far in front of it and tried to lead him and let him a little bit too far.
What's the key to kind of stepping on things when you got him down, trying to bury him? Really, is that an aggressive mentality? Is it aggressive play calling? Is it aggressive shot taking? Like what is that you guys started out really well and kind of felt like you were dominating the game for the score?
Yeah,
like that?
Absolutely. We felt like we were dominating the game, like you said, and we were in control up to 2 scores coming out of half, and that mentality is something that we have, something that we preach, and that didn't happen today. And I'm not. It's not a play call thing. It's not anything like that. It's just being able to go out there and execute the plays that are called, and be able to execute them at a high level. And that's something that we take pride in. And today that didn't happen, and we're going to get back to it. Like I said, we got to, or like probably Ben said, we got a short week. And so we got to move on to to the next week. We'll come in, watch film tomorrow, and move on from it. And then from there, it's it's being able to lost my train of thought. It's the things we need to correct, and and go on to the next week. And go on to the next week, and
Hold
correct.
on.
It's being able to lost my train of thought.
It looks like you fucking.
It's being able to move on.
How did that happen?
And go on to the next week, and
Don't tell me that shit happens in the middle of the game, Caleb. Come on now. I know it should be happening to me too, but come on now.
Correct the things we need to correct, and the positive things that we had, and things like that. Take from it.
Caleb, were you making more of a concerted effort to scramble more to stay out of negative plays?
Scramble to stay out of negative plays. Yeah, I think that's important. I think especially playing versus Flo. It's such an aggressive defense. He's such a smart D coordinator, and those guys on the other side are really good players. So being able to take what the defense gives you, and be able to get out of things or scramble and go get a first down or touchdown or whatever the case may be, versus Flo is keeping us ahead of the chains, and that's something that I take pride in, something that that Ben and I talk about.
Justin, he was 10 for 10 in the first half.
And making defenses hurt when.
I mean, look, it did not end well for the Bears, but there were good things, right? That everybody, the results are the result. Tom said it right. Tom Boson said it right. It's about results. They needed to fucking win. But if we're talking about growth and development, there was still good in there, especially if you're going to go ahead and look at what he was dealt with last year and now being able to, in I guess, one off season, understand Ben Johnson's offense and philosophy. It's just there were good and there was bad. The fucking Bears losing is the worst part about it. So, and like I said, he contributed to it. Ben Johnson contributed to it. The defense contributed to it. The special teams contributed to it. The entire team lost that fucking game. And like I said, it's fine. You want to criticize him? Fine. But he was getting the ball out quick in the first half. He made some spectacular throws. That one to Roma Duze wasn't spectacular rolling out on the run, on the money. Like, come on, man. I don't know. Like, that's we could be critical, but let's not make things up.
They want to drop out or play man to man and things like that. So it's important. It's important to us and the offense and our team, and whatever's important to us is what I'm going to do.
When you see your second double-digit lead kind of dissipate like that, I know Darnell said that it felt like looking around on offense that some kind of looked around like somebody needs to create a spark here.
Yep.
How do you rectify that? Like, if nobody's doing it, is it on you to do that? Like, how do you view that?
Yeah, I'd say that is a feeling that can happen and can appear. And in those moments, it doesn't necessarily come down to somebody doing anything outstanding. It doesn't come down to anybody doing anything out of character or anything like that. It comes down to being able to go out there and be together, all 11 on the field, doing our job at one time as soon as the ball snapped. And then, when time comes, either the ball or is thrown to a receiver or we run the ball or whatever the case may be, ball's in my hand.
Like I don't understand. Like I get that he had some shitty throws in the second. I'm saying that. Like, that's fine. But the scripted is fine. Yeah, that he was playing within the structure on the scripted plays, right? Then once you got to make adjustments, it's about coaching too, man. Like there's things that Ben's going to have to learn about Caleb, and Caleb's going to have to go ahead and fix himself. But like to say he was just like, I mean, it's like I said, a tale of two halves. It's a tale of two teams right now. You got to find out who you are. Nobody was consistent. Nobody was good. Caleb owned it. Ben owned it. Seems like everybody in the locker room owned it. But it's like, you got to remember, they've going 10 for 10 was pretty fucking impressive when it happened. When the Bears were up, everybody who had that in the back of their mind was still hoping that, things were going to work out in the second half. But got ugly, and now everybody forgets that, what they did in the first half. Like, they're going to have to clean things up, but let's not forget, there's some quality talent. There's some good things that they did in that first half. Even in some of the plays in the second half, like when they get into this 2-minute, and that's something that bothers me, man. I feel like they should start out, immediately. It should be like a no huddle. There should be a type of approach that gets Caleb into the game quick instead of like, a slower pace type of process. Maybe that's something that they could look into. But there's good, there's bad, there's unacceptable. They just got to work on it, man. This is game one.
Once the ball disappears from my hand, I deliver it to wide receivers. Time for them to go make a play. We hand the ball off. It's time for him to make a play. And if the ball's in my hand, it's time to make a play. But other than that, everybody just has to do their 111th, including me. And I think we'll be able to execute the plays that are called.
Caleb, it's 2 more. Your first game with Ben.
Yep.
Full game. What was good there, and what do you two need to work on?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of good there. Our communication, I think he was getting the plays in, fast.
So,
and
all right,
I've been able to get out the
Dustin's
huddle.
just
we need to be better with that.
That's what Dustin
I've been able to get up to the line, make checks
Okay.
or whatever
So,
case
all right,
may
bye,
be.
Dustin.
But I think it's a growing process that it's going to keep growing from here. This is the start, but definitely not the end. So we'll keep growing. We'll keep being passionate about this offense.
Justin's
Him
just
and
mad.
I, and
Yeah,
passionate about this team and winning.
Caleb, your nails have the suicide.
Yep.
10 of 10, but he didn't have any fucking good throws. He didn't have anything. None of them
being
were
able
good.
to bring more awareness.
Bye, Dustin.
On a national level, it's important to me, and being able to support. I don't know if this does help or affect anything towards anybody of preventing somebody of doing something like that, but I do it for those reasons, just in case it does. Awesome.
All right, well, that was Caleb Williams. And look, he understands. I don't think that Caleb has no heart. Like, just people, he doesn't care. No, I think he fucking cares, bro. I think he cares. He has to have, I feel like somebody needs to piss him off. Like, somebody needs to just punch him in the face. Like, somebody should just punch him in the face. Like, and I mean it as like, rattle his fucking cage, right? Somebody needs to rattle. Like, maybe there just needs to be a little more fire under him. But again, when you see him make throws like he did to a Dunze, there was a throw he threw in from the pocket to DJ Moore. Not the one he sailed at the end. There was a couple before there was good quality throws. There was a throw that he threw to TJ in the middle of the field in traffic on his first read. There was good things that you saw. And then you saw the bad, the sailing, the happy feet. It's all got to get cleaned up, but it all can't just happen. Game fucking one off season, boom. It's all fixed. You wanted Ben to come in and fix it. It's gonna take time to fix it. I don't think most Bears fans understand. You're not gonna fucking win the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry. If that's me being overly critical, no, it's me being fucking realistic. This team ain't gonna win the Super Bowl this year. I'll say that right now. I got 9 wins. 9 wins. If this team could get going, they should have had a fucking win last night. But fuck, you would be happy. You would be happy fighting for a wild card. That's what this team should be. It's just weird that that's where everybody goes. They should be winning the Super Bowl immediately. No, they should be operating at full speed, but they are definitely not a complete team. Let's be real. That's 100% the truth. They are not Super Bowl contenders right now, and everybody's treating them like they should be. Should they have won the fucking game? Hell yeah, they should have won the fucking game. But it's week 1. Let's not end the season right here. Let's see what Ben Johnson had to say about our Bears today. This is his interview right here.
Went back, watched the tape, and some good football on tape, but too much inconsistent stuff that popped up that we'll address, we'll clean up, and we'll keep it moving. Effort wasn't an issue. Those guys did a good job playing hard and competed the whole night. But the execution's got to improve, particularly there in the fourth quarter. Told the players last night that, we got a short week and we'll head on to Detroit. So really they're on their own here today, player day off. And then we're going to go ahead and turn the page here quickly because we got our first road game at hand, but it's a good opportunity for us to really define who we want to be on the road. We kind of talked about that in the preseason against Kansas City and didn't have the results that we were quite looking for. So this would be a good opportunity for us to get deep in our preparation and look to compete for another division opponent. Good news is no one got hurt last night. no injuries of consequence. So that was one bright spot from the game. With that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Dan?
Hey.
Hey, Ben. Caleb obviously did some damage with his legs last night. I'm curious, in the time that you've been with him, what has struck you about the speed that he has in open field?
Yeah, he can. He's got the elusiveness in the pocket, and then I think he's got underestimated ability to really turn on the jets. And so we've got a number of athletic players on our defense, and I saw it all throughout training camp, him being able to break the pocket, and some of our athletic DNs or linebackers, he's able to extend the play that way. So that came to life last night, and we certainly needed those rushing yards. We were drying up a little bit there in the running game, and so he was able to help complement that and move the sticks.
Also wanted to ask you about the 4th and 3 in the second quarter. You guys had to use a timeout before actually running the play. What did you diagnose today, both on the procedure of having to use that timeout there and then on the actual misfire of the throw?
Yeah, that was the timeout itself. I was late getting the call in, and that's my own issue. But we knew we wanted to go for it. We felt good about that call. Caleb, we talked about it this afternoon. That's one of the few that he would like to have back.
Pat Finley?
Hey, Ben, when the game ended, there were some people booing. How do you process kind of the frustration about it and channel it? Or what was your reaction to hearing it, if you heard it, and how do you channel your own frustration?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this city. They love their sports. I embrace it. That's a big reason why I wanted to come here, is because these people care. They want a good product. They're desperate for a winner. And really, we were all frustrated that a game like that, we didn't come away with a win. We certainly had a chance there going into the fourth quarter. And when you walk away with a loss, I think everyone's disappointed.
And real quick, what happened with Kyler?
Kyler, over the course of last week was starting to feel some tightness. He ended up feeling, we came in on Sunday, I believe, and talked to our trainers about it for the first time. And so we put him on the injury report and felt like he wasn't quite ready to go.
I've heard of JD, I've heard of this concept too, right? Like something like that wakes him up. But again, with something like that, disinterest him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, I feel like you've given him the reins. He's played 18 games as your starter. There's no need to go back right now. Is Tyson Bagent a good quarterback? I believe he's a good quarterback. Is Tyson Bagent the savior? I don't believe so, but it's not, because he's a bad player. It's just, I don't think it would be any different than if Caleb went in. Just for the simple fact that they both dealt with the same issues last season. They both dealt with the same type of coaching staff. To me, it would be maybe a cleaner operation, but I don't think it would be like Tyson Bagent's taking us to the Super Bowl. Could I be wrong? Yeah, sure, I could be wrong. But to me, I would feel like Tyson Bagent can earn himself a starting role eventually. But he even said himself, he wants to continue to learn and grow because he sees his game as not fully complete. And that's a guy, in his second year, third year? His game's not fully complete. And nobody's fucking game would be complete as a quarterback dealing with the mess that we've dealt with, for the past, 10 years plus? So it's very difficult. We haven't seen quarterback development in Chicago at all, for, I don't know, God knows how long. The 60s? It's just, I want this to play out for both of the quarterbacks. Fuck it, for both of them. Just allow it to play out. They both need to learn the system. One's going to be learning it on the fly. The other one's going to be learning it from the sideline. Just let it play out. If Caleb by week 8 is just a mess, then let's talk about it. That's kind of where I'm at. Then let's talk about it because he's still a young quarterback. If it's that bad, you don't want him to, completely be washed and wasted. You want to try to salvage the player. And I'm not saying that's where we're at now at all. I just think it's, it's a little too much to ask a guy like Tyson Bagent come in and just save your season when we have flaws still on the offensive line, still on the defensive line. Secondary was beat up, yeah, but we have holes on the defense, holes in the second, in the special teams. This team's just not, in my eyes, this team's just not ready to launch as of yet. Will it get better? I believe it will get better. I truly believe it will get better. I could see this team overcoming and flirting with the wild card spot. You just got to be patient. It's Ben's show. Allow it to progress. Allow it to marinate, and let's go from there.
Kevin Fishman.
Hey, Ben, you mentioned last night some of the adjustments that Brian Flores made after halftime. When you went back and watched the tape, what were some of the things that maybe the Vikings were doing differently? And then how did you guys kind of handle that, you think, in the second half?
Yeah, I would say his adjustments really started early in the game. There was less pressure than what he was accustomed to doing. It was more 4-man rush, which probably was a testament to the interior guys he added. He felt like he could get pressure on our quarterback, which is 4 rather than his normal 5 or 6. You saw the first drive, we were able to make it down the field and score a touchdown. And then we kept shooting ourselves in the foot, whether it was penalties, lack of a rushing game. We're in a number of 2nd and longs that turn into 3rd and longs. And that's not a way you want to live, particularly against a good play caller like that and a talented defensive front and secondary like they have. So I don't know that it changed a whole lot at halftime. I just didn't feel like we executed very well in the second half.
Courtney Cronin.
Ben, the final 49 seconds of the third quarter with I think it was the hold on Darnell and then the missed throw to Cole and then the intentional grounding. When you watched it back today, what did you notice just about the way that kind of snowballed into then the missed field goal at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, when it rains, it pours sometimes. And, a lot of times when things are stale, all it takes is one player to make a play and it just shoots a shock of electricity through the entire team. And likewise, once one bad thing happens, if you're not careful, then that can also be contagious as well and catch fire. And that's what happened. Unfortunate because we were in a good position to score points, at least a field goal there, and then we ended up backing it up and made it a very difficult field goal attempt. So that was costly.
And on the challenge on the Hawkinson play, it looked like Noah Sewell dislodged the ball. What did you see on that to throw the flag?
Yeah, I thought I saw knees up, and so that's on me. I got to do a better job listening to the guys up top. I get influenced a little bit for the first time with the people around me, and I got to stay true to the process.
Mark Grody.
Hi, Ben. You mentioned yesterday that you guys all share responsibility in the loss, including yourself. Is there anything specific that you could share with us that you would want back?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just talked about the challenge. That's a big one right there. That timeout in the second half.
No, JD, I agree. I understand totally.
And having that at the end of the game,
I totally get it.
Been huge for us. I
it's a fine line. I think it's a fine line.
Adjusted a little bit better to the lack of pressure that Flo was giving us. And so I can do a better job there. And then at the end of the game, felt like we could kick it out of the back. We weren't able to get that done. In hindsight, I should have kicked it out of bounds.
Jason Leisure.
Hey, Ben, how did you assess Caleb as far as going through his progressions and then the actual throwing accuracy?
It was up and down. We had mixed results. there were some things that he did that were top notch, and I would put him up there with some of the best in the NFL. He had a couple throws with guys in his face that he delivered on target that were very tough. I thought he did a good job evading when he felt pressure. And yet there were still some that
I think
we would like to
Paul
have
should be
back. There were
fired.
probably
Period.
3 or
Like,
4 of them that we counted on tape that
I mean,
at a minimum that we would want back. And so he came up today. We chatted for a while, and he's very self-reflective on it and critical of himself. And so it's a starting point for us, and we're looking to get better next week.
And like I said, that's where I want. If this is where we start, so be it. So be it. We know the flaws. Ben sees it, like you said, he's still learning the player. Ben sees the flaws. If this is where we start, so be it. Just like I said, allow it to marinate. But like Nino said, Brian Pohl's failures, I feel like outshine, or just are just overly glaring the flaws of Caleb Williams, right? It's if you have a complete team right now with a younger quarterback, it's a little bit easier, right? Because you'd have a defense that could fucking hold on to leads. You'd have an offensive line that can actually get some push up front when it comes to running the football. And I don't mean in a scramble when your quarterback's running out of the pocket. Your secondary would be more complete. There's just so many misses on Ryan Pohl's resume up to this point. It's hard to convince me that man deserves his job. And we've been saying this for forever. So this isn't a new thing for us here, right? This is a new thing for me. I know Shayne, Phil, I think Cherie, I think we're all to a person anti-Ryan Pohl. Like, Brian Pohl's gotta go. Flus, take your brother with you. That's pretty much where we were. Take your boy with you. And it was not that. And here we are. And it's not. I feel as if Ryan fought for guys like Amagaji, the guys that he picked, definitely fought for the guys that he picked going into this draft. And, up front, Booker, Rob, Dom Rob, all that. And was able to convince Ben, obviously, in his first year, that we're good, that we'll be all right up front, that we'll be okay up front. And that's when they went ahead and said, all right, let's go ahead and strike on these specialty guys, this tight end, this wide receiver. Oh, yeah, I guess we could go ahead and trade down and grab, 2 more picks. Yeah, I like the idea of grabbing a defensive tackle and a right tackle, and an offensive lineman. It just fucking wasn't there. That's not where I wanted to grab them, was it 3 picks in the first 50, and you ended up with guys that aren't even helping you on the football field game 1. Ryan Pohl's is honestly, it's a charity case in my eyes at this point. That's who Ryan Pohl's is.
How was DJ Moore at the end of the game after that hit he took?
Yeah, I have not got the injury report yet. We're about to have a staff meeting here in just a minute, and I'll have more details there. As far as I know, that through his text messages, he sounded like he was okay.
Dan?
Ben, the false starts were obviously an issue throughout the night, and they came in different forms. One was with a motion. Two of them had two guys jumping at the same time. What's the process of getting that fixed quickly?
Yeah. I guess silent cadence, right? Maybe that'll help here this week. We can go on that, and we're going to need to do that. We're going to need to be really good at that because this is going to be a loud environment that we're going to. It's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere. Ford Field has been something else over the last couple of years, and so we're going to have to be at our best. But certainly we haven't been good enough over the course of camp. We haven't been good week one, and so this is going to be a huge point of emphasis for us going forward.
Phil Thompson.
Hi, Ben. A couple of questions first. It seems as though with Caleb's off-target throws, they seem to come in spurts. Is that a question of getting him to settle down, or do you see something else?
Yeah, I'm still getting to know the player. I thought he started off really well early in that game, and then it certainly, as the game went, seemed to fizzle a little bit, and then towards the end he came to life again. And so that's something that we'll have to work through. I'll see how I can help him through the play calls or what's being said on the sideline to just keep him in the best spot and help him out and support him the most, and we'll go from there.
And then second thing, with the running game, I'm sure you expected to get more out of that. Is it the blocking, the calls themselves, or what do you think gets more juice out of the running game going forward?
Yeah, well, I would start with this. That was a top 5 run defense from a year ago, and they, in their opinion, they improved their front, and so it's hard to start with, and so you got to give them some credit. But with that being said, we anticipated to be on the same page more than what we were. There were some times that when we made the mic point, we weren't all on the same page, and I think that's a little bit time on task. That's also a multiplicity of fronts that we were seeing this particular week. He makes it very difficult. But yeah, we all got to be on the same page. So the sooner that we can grow as a unit, it's 5 guys all playing as one. And if you include the tight ends, it's 6 or 7 as a part of it as well. I thought Swift ran hard when the ball was in his hands. There's probably a couple reads where he could have hit it maybe a little bit different, but for the most part, I was pretty pleased with how he played.
Zach Pearson.
Hey, Coach. I'm just curious on what you thought about the offensive line, and then watching the tape, if you saw the play with Darnell Wright where they called the hold, and what you thought on that.
Yeah, I think anytime you don't rush for as many yards as you're hoping for, you look at the stat sheet and it said for over 100 yards, but really a lot of those were from Caleb. So we need more from our runners, whoever that is, receivers or the running back room. It doesn't matter. And so I think in the run game, we were subpar overall. And then protection had spurts of being really good, and then other times where we didn't give Caleb enough time. So, you get down by a couple scores, you make it a drop back game, and it makes it a little bit easier for the defense to tee off on you. That's not where we want to live necessarily. We like to keep them guessing as much as we possibly can. So, we got to make sure that we're still playing with a lead there.
Last question, Pat Finley.
Ben, what's your general philosophy on quarterbacks scrambling? Do you want them to keep their eyes up, look downfield? We've gone through experiences here with quarterbacks that did that, and coaches tried to coach it out of him, and vice versa. What do you want him to do when he's running, and acknowledging that you probably don't want him to get hit very often either?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It depends on the situation, depends on the coverage sometimes, but in general, we do have some rules that tell us to go eyes up and look for a big play down the field. And then we'll end up looking from top down from there. And then at other times, we're looking to go ahead and take off and run on our own. So it really depends on the play, the situation, and the defense.
All right, it was Ben Johnson, head coach of the Chicago Bears. Again, before we wrap things up here tonight, I know it was usually it's the Bear Down with Big Steve at 8:30. Yeah, I was almost forgot about the time. Oh, I guess we might be sticking around here for a second. But
Yo.
What up? What's going down?
Oh, you know me. Always working, Ivan. I was scouring the interwebs and I found a perfect TTNL little clip that I wanted to bring on and play on your show here. And this is kind of what we've built this network on, Ivan. And this is a caller into the score berating Chicago Bears media and, asking for truth. And I think you guys will enjoy this.
I wanted to speak about was the journalists like Chicago sports media. Is it you guys' job to help the fan out, to give us a lead as far as what's going on with the team? Because what we're seeing with Caleb Williams right now and what David Hall's been preaching for so long is that we had our guy, Danny Parkins, all these guys. You guys made it seem like as Chicago Bears fans, we had our guy. And now I'm listening to David Hall when you just said we got our coach, we got our quarterback, and he's now being smug and saying, oh, okay, but you shoved it down our face. For last year, we had Justin Fields that he wasn't our guy. If I got to lean on you guys for talent evaluation, I'm dead in the water. Brad Biggs looks like he can't catch a pass, let alone throw a pass, but he's telling me all day long who's a good quarterback and who's not. For Chicago to change around, we need new journalism and new analysts as far as Chicago sports media goes, because you guys are pathetic.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
And,
Kevin.
he's not wrong. I mean, I have a different outlook on his. It seems to be that he's upset about Justin Fields, and I'm not going to go down that vortex. But it's just overall, and I was clipping that, Ivan, and realized that you were live, and I said, "Oh shit, I'll pop in here." But that's it's exactly what we have been built on. And I know a lot of people don't like our style because it's out there and very, very raw. And we put a spotlight on ourselves for criticism with the way that we handle things. And we're not going to change. But I heard that call and I'm like, it's perfect. I was just, I don't know if you got to watch After Dark on CHGO.
Oh, I was watching a little bit before.
But we had Greg and I were talking, and Patrick Norton came on, and we were talking, and I went on a little rant myself about the 70% completion percentage goal, that was put out there.
Wasn't he at 67?
Yeah, well, I was just so Patrick is a beat guy for CHGO, and I said it made me mad. I said, Patrick, we have media members at training camp that are charting passes. And he's like, oh, well, I did that. And I said, well, I'm here to tell you that it's dumb. And I said, if you go back and you watch 1920 Football Drive, Ben Johnson at one point walks up to Caleb Williams and says, this pass is going in the end zone no matter what. Got to put it in the end zone. That was what they wanted in that situation. If you got to force it, you got to force it. We need to see this ball into the end zone, right? Right. So Caleb did it. How does a media member on the sideline that has no idea about that process that just went on, they're charting a forced ball and going to kill the quarterback for it, no matter who it is, Bajent, Williams, Fields, Steve Stenstrom, Cordell Stewart, Chris Leak, whoever. It's flawed process. That's
well, you even have media members that cater to players for personal reasons. Right. So it's like you can't really like for me, we don't have relationships with these guys. And I was letting people were talking about Ryan Poles earlier, Shane, and I'm just like, we have been to a man on. We were done with Ryan Poles. We wanted with Flus, take you and your brother, get the hell up out of here. Yeah, that's what we wanted, a clean slate. And it just goes back to what we just preach here is just this Bears organization is flawed from top to bottom,
bottom.
and it's not going to be
and
one
guys,
fucking game.
And
in
don't get in the
September,
chat and start
you know.
talking about changing ownership, guys. It's not happening.
No,
it's not happening. So just that is the piece that we have to accept. And like I said, I'm gonna get out of here, but I wanted to bring that clip because I think things like that are important. And I know that everybody is volatile right now, and I understand it. I think Ben Johnson, first game, Ben needs to improve. Caleb clearly needs to improve. It is what it is. Everybody wants to have their gotcha moment. Nobody's story has been written yet. And just back to the 70% completion percentage goal, by the way, not a prerequisite, not a demand, a goal. Jared Goff hit that mark for the first time in his career in year 9. Oh, by the way, that was in year 4 with Ben Johnson.
And
there's people charting this in training camp for Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent and Austin Reed and Case Keenum in the first few weeks. It's lunacy.
And you even had mentioning Goff. Yeah, people, the Super Bowl and everything like that. Goff had his flaws. Like, he had his glaring flaws too. And it took time. Like you said, it took him till year 9, 4 years into him and Ben working together.
Yeah.
To get that shit going. And I'm not saying it's going to take 4 years. I don't know. But you go from that chaos that you had that's well documented now last season. You're bringing him in with a head coach. He's getting coached up. Bears fans want to win. Bears fans expect to win the Super Bowl this year, Shayne.
Yeah, it's
like that's just the flawed thinking of some. And I get it. We all deserve better. Everybody should have been better. The game should have been won.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Ivan,
the sky is not falling. The
No.
world is not at an end. Like,
no,
let
it's
them
not.
cook.
And I would advise everybody to go out there. Tim Jenkins breaking down. He had a nice breakdown. I know Phil's gonna have one here coming up. Tim Jenkins broke one down. Kurt Warner came out tonight, and I know there's gonna be people in the chat that are pissed off about this. Kurt Warner he praised Caleb. Like, he's like, did he have some misses? But he kind of dug down in it. He charted every single pass, and he graded every single pass, and he takes a picture
on
of
his
his notes
YouTube?
and posted it. Yeah, just go on Twitter, and it's all posted. He posted pictures of his grades and everything, and I'll just say this before I get out of here. And if you did watch After Dark, I brought this up here, and the comparison that I'm making with Caleb, Ivan, and it's for anybody that has young children like we do, they will get this comparison. Right now, Caleb is a 4-year-old on Christmas morning with a bunch of presents in front of him, and he wants to open them all in 10 seconds. He just doesn't know which one to start with. So he's all over the place. His internal clock is sped up to 4 times normal speed. And when he's doing that, it's affecting everything. It's affecting his feet. It's affecting his base. It's affecting his accuracy. It's affecting everything. His process, getting through his reads. It's affecting everything. Once you get into the situation in the environment where it's going to slow down for you, I think you're going to see the accuracy numbers come up, and you're just going to kind of go from there. Now, if what happens if he doesn't slow down for him, then we have problems. But then this is why you brought Ben Johnson here and paid him all this money. It's not to have everything figured out by week 1, but now after week 1, now is when the coaching begins. You have 4 quarters of tape of real big boy NFL football. And Ben is not a guy that's patient, and he's going to get up and he's going to tell Caleb the flaws. He's going to tell Braxton Jones his flaws. He's going to hold Jonah Jackson accountable. The issue is, Ivan, and I heard you talking about this a little bit before, is when you're saying that, all right, we're not changing ownership. Ryan Poles, for anybody that has faith in the guy, I have no reason why. None. It makes no sense to me. And even now, the Bears made a roster move today on the practice squad for another DB. What are we doing? You got a $27 million wide receiver that you're giving running back reps to. Why is Britton Brown not on the active roster? Why is Roschon Johnson on the roster? Make a move there. You're the Philadelphia Eagles right before kickoff. They have the best running back in the NFL by a pretty wide margin. And they went out and traded for Tank Bigsby to add quality depth to their team. And I'm not saying that the Bears need to go out and make a trade, but they're doing nothing. Defensive end, good enough. Montez Sweat was a flea last night. Terrible. I gave Dio Adengbo leading up to the game a bunch of grief. And he proved me wrong. He played well. He impressed me.
I was his intent, the intensity he played with, like it was nonstop. Like he was from the first quarter to fourth quarter. I think he was probably and there was like I don't think it was an effort issue at all. But he was one of the guys that just was highlighted because he was just nonstop from first to fourth. Unfortunately, the team couldn't be nonstop, but I like the way he played for sure.
Yeah, and the hands to the face call against him. And listen, I don't want to make this out to be the refs thing, and you cannot watch last night's game. Like you guys know the story that most of the people in my family are Philadelphia Eagles fans, and my if you have a picture of an Eagles fan in your brain, that is my brother-in-law, and he's through and through Philly. He called me early this morning. He's like, dude, some of those calls last night were crazy, right? And I'm like, yeah, the Dio Adengbo one, the holding on Darnell Wright, the pass interference on Tyreek Stevenson. There's no way with an open mind, and I'm not making an excuse. I'm giving you a fact. Those things affect games. Also, it affects games when Caleb's process breaks down or it's sped up and his accuracy isn't there. All of it does. Those affect games too. I thought Ben Johnson went into a shell late in the game and got ultra conservative, and that surprised me. So there's a lot of blame to go around. I know a lot of people want to put this all on Caleb, and let's be honest. If you want to put all of last night on Caleb Williams, guess what? You didn't like him in the first place. And if he threw 6 touchdowns last night and the Bears won by 30, your opinion it still isn't going to change. Let's call it a spade a spade. It's a fact. Your mind's been made up, and that's fine. You're never going to change. That's your philosophy you can have and your belief, and it's fine. I'm not up here saying that Caleb's free from blame. He was one of the top 2 biggest issues last night. It's like a 1A, 1B type thing. It is. But it's also game 1 in a new system, coming off the ridiculousness that he had surrounded with him last year. And Caleb is guilty of some of that also. Truth always lies in the middle, man. But I'm glad I stopped in. I wanted to play that because, like I said, that clip has TTNL written all over it, and that's why we're doing what we do, is because we want to make you guys aware. If people don't like it, that we're talking about things that are tough to talk about and upfront and in your face. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else, because we're not changing and we're always going to be the same way.
Yep.
So love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night on Keeping It 100.
Oh yeah.
Tweets of the week are coming back. So
I love it.
Get your tweets in there, and patrons are held accountable. I made an announcement last night because the patrons in the chat room, on Patreon. We're so goddamn dramatic. Lucas Vandermeide, you're in there. Yeah, I'm going to take some screenshots of your chats last night and put them up there. I put dumbest tweets are going to include comments from the Patreon chat that are in game when everybody was losing their mind in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. So we're going to call everybody out. We're equal opportunities. You know, we're going to hand it all out here. So love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, and bear down. Let's go kick the Detroit Lions ass and make a statement. Dan Campbell guaranteed victory, by the way.
Ooh.
So,
all right. The
we'll
shit
see.
talking begins.
Yep. Later, guys.
Later, Shayne. All right. I think that was nice, Shayne dropping in. I know what we're gonna close the show out with. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap. You know, week 2 is upon us. It's just beginning, guys. So, you know, if the sky is falling for you, well, it's going to be falling a lot more Sundays, I guess. Get ready for it. Buckle up, guys, because it's here and it's going to be here for a little bit. So, my favorite time of year. I love this shit. That's why we do it. That's why we're here. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Sucks what it was, but it is what it is. We're on to Detroit. We're on to Detroit. Let's see if we can bounce back, clean up the mess that was, and hopefully the Bears can secure victory come Sunday against Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. All right, guys, I'm Ivan Vargas. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com, and we will be playing that caller going off. Amalia Hall.
I wanted to speak about was the journalists like Chicago Sports Media. Is it you guys' job to help the fan out, to give us a lead as far as what's going on with the team? Because what we're seeing with Caleb Williams right now and what David Hall's been preaching for so long is that we had our guy, Danny Parkins, all these guys. You guys made it seem like as Chicago Bears fans, we had our guy. And now I'm listening to David Hall when you just said we got our coach, we got our quarterback, and he's now being smug and saying, oh, okay, but you shoved it down our face. For last year, we had Justin Fields that he wasn't our guy. If I got to lean on you guys for talent evaluation, I'm dead in the water. Brad Biggs looks like he can't catch a pass, let alone throw a pass, but he's telling me all day long who's a good quarterback and who's not. For Chicago to change around, we need new journalism and new analysts as far as Chicago sports media goes, because you guys are pathetic.
Thanks, Kevin.
Shut the fuck up. Do you know what shut the fuck up mean?